Dr. Bowen Zhou ist Vizepräsident von JD.com, der zweitgrößten E-Commerce-Plattform in China. Davor war er 15 Jahre Topmanager bei IBM und dort unter anderem als Experte für künstliche Intelligenz sowie als Research-Direktor tätig. Bei JD verantwortet Bowen Zhou die gesamte KI-Strategie und Technologieentwicklung. Als Leiter von Teams in China, den USA und Europa verfolgt er das Ziel, die Industrie dabei zu unterstützen, Probleme der realen Welt mit innovativer KI-Technik zu lösen. JD.com ging 2004 online und gilt in China als Alibabas größter Konkurrent. 2017 hatte das Unternehmen einen Umsatz von knapp 56 Milliarden Dollar und über 300 Millionen Nutzer. Dieser Erfolg wird bei den anderen Big Playern aufmerksam beobachtet. Zu den größten Investoren gehören Tencent, Walmart und Google.
Thank you. Please give a warm welcome to Dr. Bowen Zhou, Vice President of JD.com. It must be really unfair to have a trailer like this in German. I have no idea what they are talking about.
But I think it's pretty good. I learned some German words already.
Okay, it's actually out from your website, so it's no secret. So, you are Vice President of JD.com, or as it's called in Chinese, Jingdong, right?
Yes,
that's
correct.
true. So, Jingdong.
Yeah,
We're talking about Jingdong. And some in the audience might ask, JD what? JD who? I've never heard of this company before, and I'm pretty sure that we will change this today because we've already heard it in the trailer. JD.com is China's largest retailer, and China is a pretty big country. And it's the world's third largest internet company, just behind Amazon and Alphabet, which is the mother company of Google. It's a Fortune 500 company. I've checked it yesterday. You are on rank 181, pretty close to companies like Disney or LG Electronics. So we are talking about a really big company. But let's start with a video that you brought with you that tells about everything about JD.com in just 2 minutes. So it's going to be a bumpy ride. Prepare for it, fasten your seatbelts, and let's have a look at this video.
E-commerce giant JD.com is the largest retailer in China, online or offline. The company sells everything from imported seafood to household goods and luxury watches to hundreds of millions of Chinese consumers. Today, it's the third largest internet company in the world. It is also pioneering cutting-edge technologies to transform global retail. Richard's vision was to provide consumers all over China with access to high-quality, authentic products, including in less developed regions such as his hometown in rural Jiangsu province. But because China lacked logistics and retail infrastructure, he made the bold decision to build his own network from the ground up. That network now covers 99% of China's population, reaching more households than any other distribution network, with unrivaled speed and efficiency. JD.com now has over 150,000 employees, including thousands of engineers in China and Silicon Valley. They're working on AI, robotics, drones, autonomous vehicles, and other state-of-the-art technologies that are revolutionizing the industry. JD operates hundreds of automated warehouses and a last-mile delivery network that can ship over 90% of orders the same or next day. JD works with and sources from the world's leading brands and suppliers, delivering high-quality, authentic, and imported goods to customers in big cities and remote rural villages. In China's most far-flung regions, its delivery drones can cut a full day's supply run down to just minutes. By tapping the vast data resources across its platforms and from its strategic partnerships with Tencent, Walmart, and Google, JD is creating new experiences for shoppers to buy whatever they want, whenever and wherever they want it. This technology and infrastructure allows partners to build trust with Chinese consumers in a more efficient and sustainable way. Building on Richard's original vision, JD is now sharing this retail technology and infrastructure more broadly as a service. It is enabling the expansion of other retailers, industries, and organizations for a positive impact on society. At JD.com, the future of retail is already here.
That was a lot of information. Shall we write a test now or later?
It's up to you.
Okay. But of course, we will get back to some key points during our talk. Today we want to learn about what works in China, and it seems that there's a lot of things that work commercially these days in China. China produces about 90% of the world's PCs today, 75% of solar panels, or 70% of the global cell phones. 111 of the 500 biggest companies in the world are Chinese. To give a comparison, only 15 years ago, it was not 111 companies, it was 11 companies. If you compare it to the United States of America, I found an interesting number. In 2017, 300,000 patent applications were submitted in the United States. What do you think? How many patent applications have been submitted in the same time in China? Not 300,000, but do you have an idea? It was 1.2 million, 4 times the number of patents in the United States. So it really seems that China is actually at the forefront of global innovation today. And some of the brightest heads like you prefer to join Chinese companies and not go with Facebook or Google or Amazon these days. So what makes China the innovation hotspot of the world? Or to ask it personally, why did you leave IBM, where you were a top executive, and join JD.com?
So I think from the number you were citing, I think it gives the following observation I also observed myself personally. I think China, many people know that has been the largest market in this world for a while, I mean, in terms of population size. But given China's long-standing technology education, I think the talent pool size are also being increasingly, almost doubling every year, I think. If you go to these AI conferences, I'm a scientist. I went to AI conference almost every year. More and more papers are ordered by Chinese from top schools in China, also including those people who are actually doing research overseas. So I think, the patent size you mentioned also has a fact about coming from China's, talents, population size. That's point number one. We just have more people studying engineers, science. We call it STEM, science, technology, math, in China than anywhere else on this planet. So that's I think point number one. Point number two is that with this age, I think data has become one of the more important to scientists, to AI technology. And China, over the last 5 to 10 years, China has become the world's largest mobile internet companies. The entire generation of my age or younger than me, I think they are spending more than 6 hours per day on their mobile phones. So all this kind of population size plus the huge mobile internet size accumulates tremendous amount of data, which makes China the epicenter of applying all advanced technologies of AI, big data, blockchain to their day-to-day lives. So I have been moved back from US to China for 1.5 years now. Every day I was so amazed by how digitized China's regular people's life is now. No matter what they do, the first thing they go to their cell phone, reach out to their cell phone to watch a movie in a cinema, to book something for a restaurant, romantic dinner, planning a vacation, online shopping, education. Everything happens digitally, and this gives A, tremendous amount of data to get a better AI technology, and B, applying better technology to improve your day-to-day life. So I think that's very, very attractive to not only Chinese researchers, scientists, but also worldwide scholars.
Yeah.
So that's why we have, we also have a research center in Silicon Valley, and I also have a lab in Cambridge, UK. So I think we are really attracting top talents, starting working for Chinese companies. But on the other hand, to be fair, I think the US, which I have been living there for 2 decades, and I think is still is the innovation hub of the world. I have many respected my colleagues, classmates, they're also working at the forefront of innovation in US and also in Europe here as well. So I think, the world is flat, let's put it this way.
Yeah. So China is the biggest e-commerce market these days in the world. Why is e-commerce so successful in China?
I think, I think one reason would be, over the last 2 decades, the increasing population size of China's middle class significantly pushes the envelope of e-commerce for the last two decades. Number one, as I mentioned, it's the population size. Population size, really plays a key role almost everything I see in China. But on the other hand, if you think about the 10 to 15 years ago, Chinese offline retailing market is much less advanced compared to what you see in Europe and the US. The brick and mortar retailing experiences are not so good in China. So on the one hand, there's ever increasing demand from middle class for authentic products, for higher quality, for more diversity of products. On the other hand, the offline retailing experiences falls short, falling behind. So this creates the space for online e-commerce to rapidly emerging and expanding in China.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk a bit about JD's strategy in China. Your mission is to enable consumers to buy whatever they want, wherever and whenever they want it. That sounds pretty similar to Amazon, and we are more familiar with Amazon in the Western world than we are with JD.com. But it's often Alibaba that's referred to as the Chinese Amazon, which is not correct. In fact, it's rather JD.com that's pretty similar to Amazon. Can you explain why?
I think, Amazon, like JD, by the way, these two companies were established almost about the same time. I think JD.com was established by Richard in 1997, 1998, around the same time as Amazon. I think these two are more similar in the following sense, because we actually buy products from suppliers, and we are like a real retailer, and we have our own warehouse, and the customers come to our website to place orders, and we deliver the products from our warehouse to our customer's house. So you
have about 65,000 employees only in delivery of goods, right?
That's right. That's right. So we have our the largest infrastructure for delivery. So that's why we can cover 99% of Chinese population, which it's huge with our own delivery system. So that's our model, right? More similar to Amazon. But on the other hand, Alibaba, I think is more like if you're familiar with the US system, it's more like eBay. So you build a platform, so suppliers and the buyers come to the same place to finish the transaction.
Mm-hmm. Then why did you choose such a pretty complicated model? Of course, it means more investment and it means more complexity to build up the complete supply chain. Why didn't you make it easy and just build up a digital marketplace like Alibaba did in the first step?
Well, I think to us, back in early 2000, even now, I think the customer experience is very, very important. So customer experience is coming from two parts, in our belief, at that time. So who is responsible for the quality of your product? Authenticity, for example. At that time, I think counterfeiting was a serious issue, serious threat to online e-commerce. This actually could damage people's trust and belief to online retailer. So that's one part of it. So I think the only reason we can control that is we take the responsibility. We place order to our supplier, to brands. We are responsible for the authenticity of the products. Mm-hmm. That's one part of the experience. Second part of the experience here is that when people place order online, they want to have it quickly. So that's why we build our own infrastructure to make sure that the products can be delivered to our customers as fast as possible.
How long does it take if you're living in a bigger city in China from order to delivery?
So our rule is the following. I think I trust myself as a customer. So far, I never disappointed. If I place the order before 11 a.m. today, I'm guaranteed I will receive my order on the same day.
Wow.
Okay. If I place my order before 9 p.m. tonight, I'm guaranteed to receive my goods by 11 a.m. the next day. So that's what I said, what we call the same day or second day policy. So 2/11, if you place order by 11 a.m. today, same day. If you place order 9 p.m. the previous day, you get what you ordered the next day, before 11.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, there's work to do.
Compared to my experiences, I was Amazon customers while I was living in New York. It took 4 or 5 days.
Yeah. So JD today is not only an e-commerce company, you are also a shareholder in a supermarket chain called Yonghui Superstores.
Yes.
And since 2017, you are opening high-tech supermarkets called 7 Fresh. We have prepared a video that gives us an idea what the shopping experience in a 7 Fresh market looks like. It's a real video. It's not the corporate video that we've seen before. So this is actually what you can see there. Maybe you can comment it. I left out the music because it was pretty annoying.
Okay.
But maybe you can explain a bit what we can see there.
Okay. Yeah. So this is a shopping chart, which can follow the customer automatically. We also have another, new device produced by my team is that they actually can serving as a clerk answering any question about the store.
All right.
So it's not this card is following every individual customer. We also have a greeting robot.
Yeah.
It's gonna in the door and all kinds of questions answering about the store.
Mm-hmm. And is this actually real? Is it operating in daily?
Yes.
In your daily.
Yes, this is real. Of course, this product itself is still improving.
Yeah.
But the shopping chart is deployed in the real store.
So this is not a one-off demonstration store,
No.
but you have how many of these stores do you have in place?
I think I need to go back check the numbers, to be precise. But I think we are opening 30 something this year by the end of this year.
30
something,
okay.
More than 30s, yeah.
Wow.
It's a large supermarket, yeah. I think we just opened 4 or 5 last week.
Yeah.
Nationwide, yeah.
That's amazing, yeah. So maybe let's switch over a bit to your core topic, which is data and technology. You're responsible for all technology development at JD. So we obviously should we should do a deep dive into tech and data. And look what your data strategy looks like. You once said in a... It's going...
That's also real. I enjoy that coffee too.
That's the killer application, I guess.
Yeah.
You once said in an interview, technology is the core of everything. AI and its applications are completely changing how companies operate. Can you explain why?
Sure. But before that, let me make a correction. I'm the head of AI at JD, so I'm in the senior leadership team. But my responsibility is in the AI area, not every technology. So to answer your question, so I think AI and the technology is changing almost every aspect of retailing. That's why I feel so lucky working at JD, which is one of the very few companies can provide so many diversified scenarios that the technology can make a difference. So let me elaborate. So if you think about the retailing, right? So one part of it is how do you interact with your customers? AI is changing that. So when we talk about doing shopping using your phone with apps, that's already sounds aged. So we're actually doing now what I call the multi-model interactive shopping experiences. Let me give you one example, right? So those days, we are offering technologies on people's cell phone in such a way that they don't have to go to JD's app to finish shopping at JD. How? For example, Uli, if I find you have a very nice, suit.
Thank you.
And rather than asking a lot about what you buy, the stuff, and so on, I will get your permission. Can I take a picture of your suit? I take out my phone. I take a picture, and then with AI technology from my team, we're gonna search for the suit case.
You can see that I bought it for 70% discount. It's pretty embarrassing.
But guaranteed, we're gonna find the matching suit to yours on JD.com with the lowest price.
Yeah.
And we're also gonna give a recommendation based on the suit and asking recommendation about the shoes and other stuff related recommendations. So this means you actually can do shopping without going to JD's app. People can actually do multi-modal interactive shopping. That's what we mean by anywhere. You don't have to go to the app. You can also do the same thing at the offline store. So that's one part. AI is changing multi-modal interactive shopping experiences. And second thing, AI is helping us producing contents, content that is more personalized to each individual customer. What do I mean by that? If you go to JD app or Amazon app, you realize today that all the product displays are personalized to each individual customer, browsing behavior, right? For a geek like me, if I go to JD, they often show me, Mac, cell phones, or all these geeks, all these gadgets. So that's all the personalized contents to display for you. But we went further. What we are doing now is we're actually producing customized images, text, videos, around some products that tailoring for this customer's interest. Okay? So actually, tomorrow I'm going to give you a keynote. I will show people an example that we actually can put the descriptive words about one product, but purely for you, using AI to write this description for this person. So the content itself is highly personalized with AI. The next step is customer service. So with AI, customer service is much more convenient. It's available 24/7. So at JD, we are using AI for all the pre-sale, middle sale, and customer service Q&A questions, chatbots. So AI can answer, on a single day. Our AI system answers questions from millions of customers, and 90% of them are being independently solved by AI. Only 10% are routed to human operators. So that's customer service become much less expensive, and we also actually using AI to help brands to sell stuff better. For example, there's a manufacturer in China who has just rolled out some new refrigerators, right? So when they first launch new product, there are many customers asking questions about this product, and it's not easy for them to find qualified customer service people to answer all these questions. It turns out our AI system can significantly help their new sales representatives without enough training to answer these questions much more productively and turn them into sales. So that's AI for customer service. We also did lots of work for AI for supply chain. So for example, using AI technology and big data, our goal for us is make sure we have enough stocks in our warehousing, just enough, so to meet all the demands from our customers, but not too much, so we don't have stocking. And we also using this technology to help manufacturers to produce right products for our customers. We are using AI to analyze our customers' feedback, opinions, through user comment section, through our customer service interaction, to mining important customer needs. Often it's latent, it's hidden to manufacturers, to offer them what our customers are really looking for. So with that kind of intelligence, not based on the regular market survey or market research, using AI to mine the real customers' opinions and turn them into intelligence and feed them back to manufacturers. We have a few, very good examples that triple the sales by considering the information we are providing from our customers. So of course there are also AI for logistics.
Yeah.
The warehouse. Some of you may have seen our warehouse in China, in Beijing and Shanghai. So the warehouse can be automated pretty much 90% using robotics and AI.
We have
and
a
also
video
drones,
for that. Yes.
We do for that. Yeah. So almost every aspect if you think of, every aspect of retail chain, AI can make it just more efficient.
So you're heavily investing in tech, in AI, like delivery drones, like autonomous delivery cars, like robots. And we've prepared some more pictures to illustrate that. So this is pretty much a common sight these days in Chinese cities. That's where it all started.
Yes.
Yeah? And now it goes on. I really like this concept, the white gloves delivery service.
Yes.
So if you buy an expensive iPhone via JD, this guy with the white gloves and the tuxedo comes over to your house and makes sure that all your neighbors see that you just bought an expensive iPhone. Is it frequently used?
Indeed, I think this is used for luxury, products.
All right.
Yes, indeed, yes.
Yeah, very interesting concept. Would be interesting for Europe as well. And then we have some more videos. This is about autonomous car delivery, and maybe you can tell us a bit what we can see here.
Yes.
So it's a self-driving car?
Yes, this is a self-driving car, and this will be deployed for some limited scenarios like on campus. So in universities, visiting universities, the students can using face recognition to open up the locker room to get the package.
Mm-hmm. So this is a standard service now as well? How many of these cars are active?
These have been used mostly in university campus and also in some closed gated community. So not widely in practical use yet.
Mm-hmm. So you can still drive your normal car without danger to be hit by such an autonomous car. Okay. And then we got the drones delivery.
Yes.
Some video pictures from how that works.
Yes.
Is this also a standard operational mode, or is it tests right now?
It is in practical operation, but it's also in limited areas. What we found out is that against people's popular belief is that drones are most effective for remote areas where the roads are not fully ready. The typical communication and transportation is very challenging. So we're actually using drones to deliver to remote areas, and this delivery is bi-directional. Mm-hmm. So meaning we actually sending products to these remote areas. We also get their rural products using same drone back to JD's warehouse. Actually, we help them
and
to
all
sell.
The returns, of course.
Exactly, and we help them to sell on JD's marketplace. This is one of the way for us to do social good, to help this remote area to their farmers to be better paid by their products. The challenge for them is that they have good products, but the transportation is so difficult. They could not get a fair price if they only sell locally. So we actually using drones to get the products out to sell to other parts of China.
Yeah.
So they can get paid more fairly.
So how many of these drones are out now?
I don't have the numbers now. Yeah, I need to. I can check and get back to you.
Yeah. They never crash into each other or into some commercial plane or.
If that happens, you will send me news.
All right. We have one more high-tech example of what you're doing. Let me check if I can stop this here and continue like this. Yeah. So this is a distribution center that you recently opened in Shanghai that handles 200,000 deliveries per day, right?
Yes.
And it was really interesting. It's about a 4 or 5 minutes video. I have not seen one person in this video. How many employees do you need to run such a service distribution center?
We have a few like this, across China called Yazhou Yihao. So, like I said, 90% of the work are being automated, but we do have people, who are programmers, engineers, working in this warehouse to make sure everything is okay. So just to give you an idea of how much technology behind this work is that we have this UGV machines which moves these products. So in every single second, they need to compute more than 1 billion passes to choose which are the best for them to get from point A to point B, and also avoid potential collision between these machines. So like you mentioned, so it's lots of computation going on.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. We're almost running out of time. I have questions for the next 3 hours. I don't know about your timing today, but unfortunately we have to come to an end. So let me ask you, when we meet again in 5 years' time for a pilot at OMR in 2024, what will the online and the offline shopping experience look like in 5 years' time? Will it be completely different compared to today?
Oh, that's a great question. So I think in 5 years, we said our goal is trying to, help people buy whatever they want at any time they want, whenever they want, right? So the key point here is that people can buy the right product at the right time with the right price. So I think this should be happening within the next 5 years. Within AI and big data, we will be doing much better job than what we see today to matching people to the products they want, yet balancing the, first of all, we need to do this at a scale, right? You do it at a smaller scale, it's easy. The challenge here is that how can you do matching people to the right products at a scale of, for example, at JDs, we have 300 million customers, we have, billions of products. How can you match them at a scale, yet balancing the economic efficiency of manufacturers and the customers' personalized interest? So that's a challenge. I foresee in the next 5 years we're going to make tremendous progress on this aspect, because only technology can make this happen. Nothing else would. Yeah. And also to answer your question, I think online and offline will be much better integrated. Today, I think online retailing has about 20% penetration rate in China, higher than anywhere else on this planet. But I think both online and offline will be needed. But what we need in 5 years is a much better integration and online and offline experiences. This means offline need to be much better digitized, and online data, online intelligence will help transform offline experiences, and offline digitization will help online retailer expanding their footprint, exporting their technologies to help offline experiences to be transformed.
Yeah. Last question, given all these developments, do you think it's a good idea that we make Mandarin the first foreign language in German schools?
I have no objection about that.
So thanks a lot. It was a great pleasure talking to you.
Thank you very much.